Manole Madness.
Back in the 7th. On the road again.
On the road again.
We'll see our Ohana and Wamanalo. Beautiful family, boy.
Yeah.
Two.
So yesterday, we had a free day, kind of, sort of. So we actually had a free day because we had planned to go to the commission meeting, but when you looked at what was on the agenda, you said we didn't have to go,
Yeah,
right?
all the issues that we wanted to be there to support, G1,
was already done.
F4, F5, F3, F4, was already, we was there for it to be able to speak in support of that.
Right. So in the morning, I had prepared to make like 54 spam.
Yeah, I just noticed. What is that? Look like that's what sign is supposed to be there.
Oh yeah. That looks like those cop on top kind of towers. But so, I was prepared to make 54 musubis, spam musubis, because the other ones the day before just like went. And there was a lot of people that we didn't get to give. So
what I appreciate is that people really love the musubis.
Yeah.
They come.
And it's, you know, I think like a couple people said when I gave it to them the other day, they said, "Oh my God, thank you so much." And they said, you know, it's perfect because the meetings are long.
Yeah.
Right, and they can't, like, they have to wait till lunchtime to break to eat.
Right.
The meetings are long, so that comes
in perfect. It's a good placeholder.
Yeah. So I'm glad, but we didn't have to go. So in the morning, I thought, okay, this is my chance. I can do this now.
Mm-hmm.
So
and what was this? What was this? The this that you're talking about?
I was gonna move my desk a little bit. It wasn't gonna be where it is now, but I love where it is now. But I had a different idea.
Right.
And that's all I was gonna do was move the desk, because to me that was like a huge accomplishment.
But you already know if you're gonna move the desk, you gotta move that thing because this thing gonna fall over.
And that's so what I love about him is he has the same mindset as me. If you're gonna move one thing leads to another, and it leads to another. You might as well just take that chance to rearrange everything, right?
Yeah.
So you get to clean where, you know, spots that you couldn't clean before and stuff. So I love that.
Yep.
But
that comes from, you know, as much as I kind of like I had a bad upbringing with my mom. One thing I love about my mom when I was growing up is she taught my sister and I to that we gotta take it, we gotta know how to clean the house, know how to wash your dishes, you know, wipe your ass, you know, do your laundry, you know, all that stuff that you gotta do, because she would always pound it in her head that one day you go be on your own and mommy not gonna be there to take care of you. You have to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And she would always do every Sunday have general cleaning. Yeah. Everything goes in the wash. You know what I mean? The curtain. Talk about the curtains goes. We wash throughout the week, but
I would love that if we had our own washer and dryer. Then
we're gonna get there.
Do that.
We're gonna get there. When we do off-grid living, we're gonna have that.
Yeah.
And hey, what's beautiful about it, we'll be able to hang clothes outside and make. I want to make clothes hangers. I mean, not a clothesline.
Clotheslines.
Yeah.
I don't
like old school
that.
clothesline. Just to bring back memories.
Only thing is you don't get like the softness a lot of times. Yeah. Like when you put it in a dryer and you put dryer sheets, you know, I love that, but that's okay, you know. But yeah, so when I started moving, I mean, I'm telling you like seconds, because it's like at work, right? The second I start making plates to pack up, he's like, "Oh, we're going, okay, let's go," and he's like packing everything up. I'm like, wait, I need to do stuff first before you put stuff away, right? And so it's just like that.
Mama said gotta go, let's go.
I was trying to
old school.
slowly get stuff together, and he was like, I saw it in his face, he was like, looking around, and I go, uh-oh. And he goes,
that moment you realize I'm fucked up.
Yeah. And what did you say? I have an idea.
Look, then get him on.
Piece of shit. He goes, I have an idea. And I said, uh-oh. And instantly I got tired. Because I already knew what his idea was. Look at that.
Fix your maka. You okay?
It's just like, it's okay. It's okay.
Let me fix it.
No. So
I'm gonna kiss it.
this is something that happens because of my myotonia, but I can talk with one eye. Does that make sense? But so,
It'll come back.
Yeah, it'll
Fix your maka.
It'll come back because then
I
notice when I do that, then it happens more. I think like if I just let it play out, then it's stupid. But so anyway, we started on our journey, and then quickly our journey turned into like, oh my God, everything in the house was upside down. The kitchen was piled with stuff. The bedroom on top of the bed was just piled with stuff, and then the living room was like
dig through everything.
Yeah. And then what was screwed up is I blocked the refrigerator. No, you know what?
What?
I didn't block the refrigerator. That was a rookie moment.
What?
Because we were thirsty, right? And I was like, damn it, I blocked the refrigerator. Because I'm thinking it's the the regular refrigerator.
Yeah.
And so I forgot that our freezer is on the bottom. Yeah. And I blocked the freezer.
Right.
And I was sitting there thirsty for the longest time, going, I gotta like move everything in front of the refrigerator. But really, it was on the side. So I really didn't have to move anything.
Are you Wookie?
I just realized that now.
So
anyway, I moved stuff around the refrigerator, and so we got our drinks and stuff, and then so we were well like deep into this rearranging and everything, and it worked out great because now we have more lighting, I feel like, in the house. Now we have more airflow in the house, and it looks so much bigger, right?
Yeah.
And I got to like
even when Jay and Bebe came, they were like, whoa.
Yeah. You see that look? He used to do that when he'd go to work in the morning and he'd come back and the whole living room is rearranged. He was like, whoa, how did you I'm like, He's like, who helped you with this? I'm like, nobody, I did it myself. You know, so I'm glad that I have a partner, but I gotta admit, last night by the time dinner came and I had no energy, I just threw chopstick on the pan and I made rice, and that was it. We had that, and my body was done, because once I sit down and my muscles, everything was sore, and that's another part of myotonia. But by the end of the night, I was like, I can't, but I needed to have our bed, right? So where the bookshelf was in the room, I put the bookshelf. That was
creative.
I've been looking at it.
You open up that space when I move the bookshelf so you can add it to your office. And then it was just empty, and then I like how you just stacked it all up.
I had containers on the bottom, and then I just stacked it.
It's not all kapakai, so.
I tried to make a wall where the bookshelf was so that I could at least get off the bed and go to the bathroom.
And then we can take time now.
Yeah, and I
get rid of a lot of stuff.
I just want to live in my living room, guys. Just want to, because the living room is beautiful now. Like, it's no clutter.
And both sets of windows. It's open.
No clutter. And Daddy got his recliner in a place where he's got all the freedom in the world. It's perfect. You know, we flipped everything around, and we have our food service stuff.
It's funny that all this time that when we first moved in, I always wanted my my prison mentality, my back against the wall kind of thing, right?
In the corner, so you can see everything coming.
Yeah. But now I feel safe, and
you're kind of in the middle of the living room, like all free and stuff.
The whole world is around me.
Yeah. That's really cool. It's a big thing that happened, I think. But so by the end of the night, I was exhausted. I was like, I'm sorry, Daddy, I can't do it. So I just put everything, I made a wall, I cleared our bed, And I was like, do you need me? Because he was doing legal work until midnight. I was like, do you need me for anything? Because my body is done, And he goes, no, it's okay. Go lay down.
My only thing.
Looks like cock.
What the hell is that? 483, honey, love you.
Bro. Huh? 483?
438, honey, love you.
Oh.
No, love you, honey. No,
Whoa.
love you, honey bun.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I could have caught that one.
Look at that. I gave you like 3, 4 opportunities to go get it. Go get it. I'm the winner. I'm the winner.
Whatever. I caught you with a bunch while you're in the toilet.
Yes, okay.
But
the unit was catching up.
But then I snatched your phone too. What do you mean I was catching up?
You just catching up because I already had caught you with a series of numbers.
I don't think so.
Think about it.
There's no video proof.
Think about it. It'll come.
But so, our living room looks beautiful. We got everything pretty much reorganized. The kitchen is almost there. Daddy helped me clean up some of it today. So at least I can cook because I made breakfast.
We gotta buy rubbish bags.
Yeah. But I made breakfast. I managed to make breakfast and cook. We're going to have cereal, but we had omelets.
One thing I like about when you cook, you do creative cooking. Mm-hmm. It looks pretty when it comes to that omelet was amazing.
I made omelets, and you know what was in there? I usually put spinach, but I didn't have spinach, so I put the lettuce, the spring leaf lettuce, and chopped up tomatoes and cheese.
It worked.
And then green onions sprinkled on the top.
It worked. I think what it really boils down to is it's about the heart of the person that's creating a meal.
Yeah.
If your heart is at Castro,
that's the same. We just saw that car.
It's about the heart of the person. If there is love goes into creating the meal, no matter what items you throw in there, it's gonna come out beautiful.
Yeah, even if it's a ghetto.
Yeah, I mean we have Vienna sausage.
We have
Vienna sausage, eggs, and rice.
Because I was like, we have bacon in the other fridge.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna make it, but then I was like,
crispy bacon.
We can have bacon for dinner.
Hey, look at that, so cool, boy. They got the kids doing a thing, climbing the net. Like that's pretty cool.
And we can have bacon for dinner.
Yeah. But just when you said it, but I thought, what? I could go for some crispy bacon.
Or we can have bacon. So it depends on what we have for dinner.
Not so crispy that it's all crunchy.
Oh, I love crunch.
Crispy like
and chewy.
Chewy, yeah, crispy and chewy. Yeah.
And Jay likes it like crawling.
Yeah.
The bacon is like 3 seconds on each side, and it's crawling off the plate.
Just scraped right off the plate. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just like, I can't do that. But so we did that. I got to have coffee next to my desk.
Yeah.
In a pretty living room.
Her desk actually looks like an office.
Yes. Yeah. I'm so happy. And I still have a lot of like rearranging to do, and I still gotta go through the...
It seems like there's more space.
Yeah. I have to go through the files and actually make sure everybody's files are correct and stuff. But now I have the space to do it. And I did paperwork today where I had to go through the filing stuff, and I had to staple them. I made like 8 sets of them.
Yeah.
But I had the space to do it. And I have my stapler on the desk now, which makes more sense. So it was beautiful.
So you can sit down, relax, and do it.
Yes.
Not break your back.
Yes. And I have my shredder in place again. It's just, I could have an orgasm just having a clean desk.
Whoa.
Just having a clean desk.
All that?
OCD stuff just turns me on, yeah. But then we got to watch some TV. Oh no, then you got to make your phone call. Well, you made the phone call the other day, but you got a phone call today from
Dr. Kim Thorburn, the former administrator, the very first administrator for the newly created healthcare division of Department of Public Safety.
And I think you talked about her a couple vlogs ago.
Yeah.
And so we got to.
I got a call back from Kim Thorburn. I feel like I was graced by a superstar. You know what I mean?
And she was super proud of you. And she's been apparently like following some of the things you do. She saw some of the things about the news and the article.
And you know
That's really cool.
what's fun is like I'm talking to her and I just went all Portuguese, bro. And she kind of nicely like let me know, I got another thing, a call I got.
Oh yeah, I was in the bathroom.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And because
But you were excited.
yeah,
That's why.
because she, man, there's now when I go back and I see all the people who in their own way made a little contribution to me coming back to who I was always meant to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And not who I
See,
became.
and I love how you say that.
Yeah.
You're no longer saying as much. You're just a punk kid from Cali. Now you're recognizing that you're coming back to the person you always meant to be.
Yeah, and she played what was a brief moments at that time, but it meant the world to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It made all the difference in the world.
So
at
you
that
never
moment.
know how one little act can change
Yes.
somebody's life. You know?
Yeah.
So I always think about that, like when I see people on the side of the road, and stuff like that. And I've had.
So can I have this a tribute to all those that contributed to my life, but Kim Thorburn, Dr. Kim Thorburn.
Remind me of the name when I name it tonight.
Yeah.
But so I've had first-hand experience when I was reaching out to like homeless and stuff.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people when I was working, not working, but when I was volunteering for Valoha, there's a lot of families that we reached out to and we helped. I mean, like if it was like Christmas gifts for the kids, or whatever, sometimes dinner, they had no food, we'd make dinner and stuff.
Okay, so on that, like, I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you work with homeless, right? Now, everybody out there, especially those that wouldn't even think about helping homeless, but even if they did and they wanted to, show compassion to the homeless and all that, what to a homeless person makes the most difference to them? Is it like just sitting there and handing them a
hug?
A hug?
And I learned that from Auntie Mumi.
Yeah.
She was really touched because she said nobody wants to hug them because they're dirty. Nobody wants to, But you walked right up to her first and you just gave her a hug like anybody else. And then I hugged her. Right? A hug, and actually not, as far as like people give them half-eaten plate lunches, stuff like that. So when I talked to a homeless individual before, they told me that they're grateful, for the half-eaten plate lunches, but it doesn't do anything to make them feel. It still makes them feel like they're less human because you're giving them your scraps, basically. Right? You're giving them something you don't want.
Right.
So that's why I make it a point to go. I'll either ask the person, "Are you hungry? What do you want?" Right? I'll make sure I have enough money to say that.
What is the most surprising things that you were surprised that they felt like this is what I need and not that?
They asked for rubbish bags, toiletries, and sanitary napkins for the women. Like that's really what they wanted, And they said, food because there's like they can, and they actually told me, we can dig in the rubbish and find people that waste food all the time, and that's just what we have to eat. And people drop off because that's all they think, right? Oh, they have nothing to eat, nothing to drink, so people drop off food. But they said what we don't get and what people don't give us that they don't drop off is rubbish bags, and then we get blamed for not being able to, having everything messy, right? But they said we have no way to keep it clean, right? Because one thing too is nobody will allow them in the stores. They see a homeless person come in and they're dirty, or you can tell they're homeless. They don't want them coming in because they automatically think they're going to steal. So they get kicked out. So one lady said, I tried to buy rubbish bags, but every time I go into the store, they kick me out. And I asked her, I said, have you ever tried telling them that that's what you're there for? And she said, yeah. And the managers and the co-workers, they would say, it doesn't matter, get out.
Wow.
We can't have you here because they assume that they're going to steal something. And so it's sad, and then I didn't think about it for the women. Tampons and pads, like that's something I took for granted, you know what I mean? Like I complained before, like, oh my gosh, this pad is
How about
horrible,
like
it's
deodorant,
uncomfortable.
soap?
Yeah, that too. I mean, you know what I mean? People would drop off like the hotel ones, the tiny ones.
Yeah.
Because why? Because
It's free.
it's free, and because realistically nobody's gonna use it when they go home, right? Majority of the people don't use it because you buy the big bottle, that's what you have. So these little ones, like, I don't know, I've taken them from the hotel.
Makes me feel better.
Right.
That I just.
Yeah, giving you something.
They give you something.
I did something.
Costing me nothing.
Right. So,
In fact, when I was leaving the hotel that we stayed on a staycation,
right.
I collected all those.
Right, and for what? Because I've done it before too.
Yeah.
I've done it before, and I'm,
Yeah.
I'm just taking it, but what am I taking it for?
Right.
Really? Because I never used them either.
Yeah.
And I have given them to homeless.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because something is at least something.
Right.
But that's why I learned a lot working with the homeless, and now I know more, so because I've been guilty of giving them the rest of my plate. I've been guilty of giving them hotel shampoo and stuff, but as you talk to them more, you learn really what their needs and wants are,
Right.
and how they want to be treated, how they feel.
I just came to me. I gotta shave, man.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, so you have to shave tomorrow.
Yeah.
Today's Wednesday, so by Friday we have to shave. So tomorrow. But
Scruffing. It's hot.
Yeah.
Summertime. Clean it up.
So yeah, we learned a lot. I learned a lot about the homeless and stuff. And I learned really, and the thing is too, nobody asked them their name. Because once you become homeless, it's like
No name.
yeah, it's like
No name population.
like Kyoki was, right?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, it doesn't matter that you were incarcerated, now you're out, great, you're trying to do good things.
I'm grateful for the brief moments that we had with him to help lift him up, all of that.
And that was the thing, right? When he died, we were most proud of, one of the things we were proud of is that when they found him, he wasn't just unknown homeless, because he had no ID, he had nothing, right? And I mean, I'm sure they might have found it, but a lot of times they really don't take the time to find it. If you're homeless, you're homeless.
Yeah.
You died, cremate, put you in a bucket of ashes with 10 other homeless, right? But we got to make sure he had a name. His family was able to cremate him and pick up his ashes, so because
he didn't die alone.
Something. Yeah.
I mean, he died alone, but
right.
It was never forgotten.
Right.
We found that he had hung himself.
Yeah.
Or sort of started saying, that's what they say.
Yeah. And he was in depression again, and he had fallen back on drugs, and he tried really hard not to. He really did. And it makes me
the most
mad.
touching moment was when you asked him, when's the last time you used?
Yeah. And he had to think about it, and he goes, about a month ago. And I looked at him and I said, so about a month ago you met us? And he said, then he realized, he said, yeah, ever since I met you guys, I've been feeling blessed and stuff. So that mindset right there, that proves if you become a blessing on somebody, it changes their outlook on life. He was using quite a bit, right? But
even though he was in that condition, he had at least the presence of mind to spend his time. And this guy, he tattooed from head to toe. You know what I mean? Tattoos all over the place. Couldn't get a job because the way he looked and all that, right? But he had the presence of mind to spend his time looking for bottles and cans. Yeah. He would collect them, walk all around the Campo industrial area, walk all the places just to go do that. And he had his routine. That's what drew my attention to it.
You know what's funny is like people see somebody tatted from head to toe, and a lot of people I know just look at them and go,
Yeah.
like stay away from him. You know, the first thing that I think about when I see people like that is how much shit they must have gone through. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
every tattoo is for a purpose.
No, I know what you're
right?
saying. What is the story?
Yeah,
That's your thing.
and I always, that's my
What's the
thing.
story?
What's your story? And
Yeah.
even when I see homeless on the side, right, I'm like, I
Yeah.
wonder what their story is. Like, how, if I can do something to help them,
Mm-hmm.
and some people don't want the help, they're not ready for it.
By the
and
way,
we have
just
to
giving you a
accept
heads up. You see
it. I see
your
my
friend.
friends. I see my friends. We're going in the rain. But yeah, so, I think that those experiences make us better people, and we learn from that. As long as you learn and you keep growing, and that's what I admire about you a lot is that
Me?
yeah,
Me?
is you make a mistake or you'll do something that you're not really happy about yourself, but you'll take that experience and you'll learn from it and you actually try to do better. You put in the effort to try and be better. And not very many people can do that,
Yeah.
Some people would they'll take every opportunity to just, say, oh, well, me, my past.
Yeah, that's just the way I am, bro.
Yeah. Speaking of opportunity, it made me think about the show we were watching before we left. So,
Yeah.
what is that one called?
That one is called
Some kind of cheater
Cheat-
one.
Cheaters something.
It's
Yeah.
not. So it's this one
Yeah.
is
From Uri.
they use decoys,
Yeah.
right? And so like so today's one, a girl wanted to test her boyfriend because she felt like he was
Yeah.
being unfaithful or talking to other girls.
Right.
So she goes to this show. They set up hidden cameras. They even have a fake house.
Yeah.
Right? And so they set up hidden cameras, and then they're actually upstairs in one of the rooms.
Yeah.
And the decoy is mic'd, and they make like a scenario. So today's one, they made like a whole scenario of this girl reuniting with friends that used to work with her at Starbucks, and a couple girls, I guess, that she was just meeting. And then
Wait, somebody calling.
her
Right
friend,
there. Who's that? Who's that?
I think it says moms or something. It's a yellow one, so it's okay.
Starts with A. Angel.
Oh. So, and give me. Hold on. Real life.
Real life happens.
Man, this guy is beautiful. Hello, did you call? Okay. For the skid steer? Oh, okay. Cool.
Is that?
Yeah, okay. Oh, okay. Well, you could just put like cardboard or something underneath. Okay. Sounds good. Okay, thank you. Bye.
You got me
So,
in suspense over here. No, because normally,
yeah, well, I didn't want to put it on speaker because
yeah,
who knows what's going to come out of their mouth.
yeah.
So Solomon came and he did some stuff with the trailer or whatever, and he's gonna come back and pick up the skid steer and I guess work on it later. So and then the bench that we gave Kaylin yesterday, it was kind of wobbly, uneven, right? I guess our house has a carpet, so it's okay.
Right.
But Angel tightened some of the screws, and then she said one leg is shorter than the other, so she's
Oh,
fixing
when I
it.
said that to mom made that.
Yeah. No, so she's fixing it and putting it in the house for Caitlin. So, yeah. So anyway, yeah. So that show, right? Turning Wings. Oh. So that show, we always watch shows like that because we think it's interesting.
It's entertainment.
Yeah.
It's entertainment, and we see people in real life how they act,
Yeah.
what they're willing to do when they think nobody's watching.
Yeah.
And that's one of the first lessons I learned from inside
Oh yeah.
was the understanding of what ethics is, right? And people say, what do you do when nobody's watching? That's who you really are.
Integrity.
Yeah, integrity.
Yeah.
What do you do when nobody's watching? That
Yeah.
says who you really are.
Yeah.
You know?
So, all these secrets, and you think, it's just this, it's just that, it's not gonna hurt anybody, But
Yeah.
a lot of it goes to, okay, what are you really
About
about, and what are you really needing? Like the relationship today. I mean, they didn't really say, there was something missing in the relationship, right? But I think too, people do things like, you can have the best relationship in the world, you can be like the happiest in the world, but temptation
right.
is what kills people.
Yeah.
And if you're somebody that's prone to fall for temptation, then that's a problem,
Right.
And so, and it's like, if you want to be like that, then you know what, you should just go on and do
Go do that.
yeah,
Mhm.
Go do that.
And from my personal experience, I can tell you, man, when my second marriage was falling apart, like halfway through my marriages, it was just not working, right? There was no intimacy there. There was a whole bunch of
Wow.
It's for they're helping on top. I think it's motorcycles though.
Oh.
Yeah. So I went honest. I was a man whore. I was like, yeah, well, whatever,
And that's something people judged you on,
Yeah.
not knowing the story.
Yeah, and you know what I got from that?
What?
It's a lonely fucking highway out there, bro. If you're just in it just to get the booty call and all that, and there's no relationships being built there.
So it's just do your business and
do your
leave.
business and leave, right? There's no more even conversation.
You don't know what the other person is about.
They don't know about what you're about. You guys just get it together just to fuck. You know what I mean?
Right.
And do your thing, but
So
I got
when
bored.
did
I
you
got bored
feel
with it.
lonely? Like,
That's towards the end of that, just prior to me meeting you, I was already on that like, nah, fucking shit it is.
right.
Shit it. It reminded me when I used to run around the streets with Danny. We would always, jack people and go get money and use the money in a bar and go drink, right?
Right.
Smoke weed, drink like that, and dance, because that was disco era, right? And all that kind of stuff. So we'll just hang out, just do that. Just a couple of young punks, thinking that we're doing something with all that.
Yeah.
And then I got the idea, like, with all this money we're getting, we should save them,
Yeah.
right? And we'll go buy one coke pack. That
Buy
way we
it
save
yourself.
money. Yeah, instead of paying, $2 for a bill, we can pay $6 for a fucking coke pack. Or
And it makes sense
back
because
there.
it should be less drama.
Yeah.
Right?
But you know what happened?
What?
We bought the case. It was a case that we bought. We didn't go to the park. And we go bust out the beer, but it was fucking boring. Because when it was me and him over there drinking, you know what I mean? And never have no action, no music, nothing, you know what I mean? At least in a club, you're getting all kind of action, and stuff, and everything is moving,
Right.
And so, when I was doing the Lonely Highway routine. I got bored. I was like, this is so dead.
So it's kind of interesting because you lost that in your marriage.
Right.
And that's something that's really important. Intimacy is really important to you, right? You wanted that.
Yeah. Having sexual encounters with people doesn't mean you have intimacy.
Right. But so in order to fill that void, you went out thinking that would fill that void, but then it made you lonelier.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I was even more depressed.
Yeah. So that's interesting.
And now with you, I feel love every day. Throughout the day, I feel love.
Yeah.
You know why? Because you touch me, right? You always touch my shoulders, you know, like touch my face, you know what I mean? You're
wake you up with kisses.
Yeah. Oh, this morning you just mobbed me.
And you know what's funny? Okay, so when I first met him, he still had like the severe post-trauma.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's PTSD from, and it's like, I think everybody that's been to prison has some sort of PTSD. But the length that he's done and the things that he's gone through in life, I think he has PTSD from everything. But I mean, you couldn't, if he was sleeping, you couldn't go, hey, you know, without him swinging already. Because his mentality was he's in prison, right? You gotta always keep your guard up, and if somebody's touching you, they're trying to hurt you.
Right.
And so it's not that he was trying to hurt me, but I knew that I had to be careful when I wake him up because I know where his mindset is.
That is a scientific fact.
Yeah.
And it was a case in California where it set the standard by the courts, where the inmate was acquitted for stabbing the guard.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, because the guard would go over there and fuck with people and roughly like try to get them out of sleep. And this one guy, his reaction was to just poke whatever was in front of him. Yeah. He wasn't looking at the guy was a guard.
Well, because you guys don't have time in prison to sit back and think, okay, wait, is this guy trying to hurt me or not, right? So
friend or foe, it's all foe.
So that's already like
we no more time for thinking if it's friend or foe. Yeah.
So, you know, I know that you didn't want to hurt me or anything like that. I knew the intention wasn't like that, but I also knew
this is a natural reaction.
And I don't know why I know that. It's not something you explain to.
Like Todd would say.
I didn't do time. But I just naturally knew that. Right. I think it's because, like I said, I can feel people, you know, so I can feel what you're going through.
Going through the tunnel.
So it's like, we're going through the tunnel. So it might get dark. Well, this way I think is okay. Lights, camera, action.
Go.
So, but when he first came home, that was the thing. Like, I had to be cautious when I wake him up. I couldn't like just, oh my God, wake up, you know, because then that would really startle him.
Mommy will do that.
And so I had to like gently wake him up. But now, he can be in a dead sleep. I mean, snoring. And I'll come up behind him, behind you too, like even worse, right? I'll come up behind him in the bed and I'll just grab onto his body and I'll just wake him up with kisses all over his neck and stuff. And he wakes up giggling. There is no like, you know, trying to
nobody would ever believe that from where I come from.
Yeah?
Nobody would ever believe that.
But you wake up like giggling and happy, you know, and stuff, and you have like, at that moment you have no defenses left, you know, and it's a wonderful thing to see that, you know, over the course of 6 years, to see that. And then like we said today, your chair being in the middle of the living room, you know, all these little things, and to me that shows
growth happens.
Great growth and healing. Right, because if you weren't healing from that trauma, you wouldn't be able to grow from it.
Right.
And so, I think that's really awesome. These little things, you know, that
growth can happen if you allow it to happen, and if you're provided the opportunity.
Yeah,
have it
you have to
happen.
have a safe place, right?
Yeah.
I think everybody needs that.
That
safe
and
place.
that's like what we was talking about yesterday with the RISE
The
program.
RISE program, yeah.
What they're offering
Yeah.
is a safe space
You know, so we have to
for
watch
youth
it
to grow.
because we didn't know what happened before. But Lynette did a live.
Oh,
So I was starting to watch it yesterday. So we can see all the conversations that happened before we got there.
Right.
And
Okay.
so when I was listening to Carla, they were asking questions, right? And she was answering to the best of her knowledge. And they did like kind of come after Cliff, you know, and Cliff told them, you know.
What was it coming after Cliff for?
Because
This is a man who owns his own company,
right,
who's volunteering his company,
right.
services, equipment, time,
But so the
all that
biggest, the thing was the
benefit.
asbestos, right? So because they were saying, you know, oh, my tutu lives here, we're gonna get cancer now and stuff. But so they were explaining that the roof had already caved in and it was
Right.
open, right? So
Yeah.
asbestos was already
out there. Yeah.
And but the thing is, Cliff said,
But they're looking for
I'm
looking for opportunity to poke holes to see where they can
Right.
try to get somebody on
But
something.
Carla said they followed the permits and everything.
Right.
And she said the company that she hired to do before Cliff came in to do the demo, and he made it clear.
Right.
All I was hired to do was the demo of the house. Right?
Right.
That's what I did. And we hauled away the rubbish and the stolen cars that were dumped there, whatever, abandoned cars. He said before he went in, there was a company that was hired to take care of the asbestos already. They already did what they had to do with the asbestos. And then people were saying, you know those black, when you do construction, you put up the fencing and the black thing. They said, you guys never do that, you know, this, that. So they explained it to...
but they had the spray on the ground.
That's what Cliff said. Cliff said,
Yeah.
we didn't do that because we had the water sprayer, and as we were demoing we sprayed it, so we didn't need that. And he was saying, like, in construction you don't need that if you have the water. Now when
Right.
they rebuild and they do the grubbing on the land and
Right.
stuff, that he said then we will have that, you know, that is when
Right.
that comes in. So they followed by the permits and everything, and Carla was, people were like, do you have it right now? And Carla was like, I can get that information for you. You know what I mean? Because they followed by the books and
Yeah.
stuff. So, you know, I think they'll be okay.
Just looking to see where they can poke holes.
But, you know, Nani was saying, too, that some people broke down at the end and explained to her why they were hurt, right? Why they were so angry.
Right.
And, you know, it's like the same as you, right? When I first met you, I was like, why were you so angry, right? And the
Right.
anger comes from fear and hurt,
Right.
right? So just like you, the families that were making the biggest ruckus comes from fear and hurt. And
Yeah.
they've been hurt by this kind of program in their life personally, right?
I don't think the program.
That
think
type
they
of
got hurt.
program I'm saying, because that's
Yeah.
what came out, like the kids that are in that type of program, right? So I mean, they had bad experiences. But what I heard from her yesterday was, I wasn't sure if it was like formerly incarcerated, you know, teens and stuff, but it's homeless. They're taking the young homeless people, and people were debating too. Kids, they're not kids, they're 18 to 24. Okay, or 17 to 24. They're still kids. You know what I mean? They're still kids. And they're taking them off the streets and they're giving them empowerment to they're helping them get their, like what you said, their IDs, their social security cards. They're helping them with job skills. They're
Right.
giving them a safe space, because Carla said now they have a place to lay their head at night where they're not in fear of
Right.
somebody coming after them.
They get time to focus on
Right, exactly.
getting the shit
So
together.
now that you have a safe place,
Right.
now you can focus on, okay, I need to do this. How do you get back on your feet?
Yeah.
And somebody had asked, you know, the same question I asked, where are you getting these kids from? You know, you bring in these kids from Waikiki or whatever, and you putting them in this house. And she said, no, this is for Waianae homeless, right? And the other program that they have already in I think it's Waianae Valley. Raphael House.
Yeah.
That one, they were asking statistics on that, right? Well, of that, how many of those are Native Hawaiian? And I kind of thought that was kind of interesting because this had nothing to do with. I mean, everything should have to do with Hawaiians, but this wasn't a Native Hawaiian project.
Right.
You know what I mean? But they wanted to know. You know what the answer was?
What?
90% of the Raphael house was Hawaiian.
Yeah.
Hawaiian teenagers.
Yeah.
You know? And so I was like, wow, that's a pretty cool statistic to have, you know?
Yeah.
And not that she discriminates. She said she doesn't discriminate against whatever race, but you know that shows too. You said the West Side has the highest concentrated
Native Hawaiians
anywhere, right?
Because of the homesteads.
Right.
Yeah.
So the fact that people are asking, are you taking homeless from other places and bringing them? The fact that 90% of her boys and girls are Native Hawaiians or Hawaiians, to me that shows she is taking the ones from that place, you know?
Yeah.
Because otherwise you'd have like 80%, you know, Howleys, whatever, you know? And so
it don't matter what if it was on from Niihau.
Yeah.
Or from Big Island. Same thing. They're Hawaiian.
I mean, I love that, you know, the program was, I mean, everybody had valid things, but I still think that there's some way they can work together.
Yeah.
You know, and they can do, everybody can have like a happy medium.
Yeah.
But
you know, so stop grumbling and participate.
Do something, yeah.
You know? Show that you give a shit about more about other people than yourself and your feelings.
Right.
I tell you, that's the big. Yeah, exactly. I tell you, that's the biggest problem that we get in the world. People get all caught up in their fucking feelings.
By the way, I think I'm like
fucking manner.
Really starting to grow with that with you.
What's that?
Because to me, everything is feelings, right?
Right.
But when you explain to me after that this is not how you meant it, or this is not what it is, you know, and stuff. Now I'm starting to decipher when you say something. There's a moment where I have to like, you know.
Yeah, I know. People get turned off by that, like, what's that fucking feeling? Like, you don't care about me? No, I do care about you.
Yeah.
But what's most important is getting the shit done.
Yeah, no, so I mean, like when you say something, you know, so I think I'm growing to where the last couple things that has happened, I would have caught more feelings before than usual. But now I'm like, okay.
And I don't, like, it's not my intent to disregard people's feelings. But we don't have time for that right now. If we be sitting on our side, we gotta cuddle your feelings. But we get shit that's in real life that people need help with right now. We gotta take care of that right now. Bombay, we go talk about your feelings, but right now we gotta go do this because they're hurting.
Yeah.
Right? They need help right now. No more time for me, you know, get all caught up in your feelings like, oh. So we're gonna spend all day just doing that.
I think that's a little bit dramatic. It's not all day, but you know.
Yeah.
But
I'm talking about in society.
No, I know.
As well. You know, we don't like this cause this, that, the other, you know, I feel like this, I feel like, okay, you can feel whatever you like. But we got a situation that we gotta settle.
No,
we gotta take care of that.
I get that.
Yeah. Can you just put that on the side so we can take it east first?
So getting back to our
Bombay go, Bobby, the shoulder.
Getting back to our cheating thing, you know, and temptation and stuff like that. So it was interesting because today's one, I really thought the guy was gonna pass. I really did, you know. And then when he got put in a situation where he was alone with a girl, he was giving, and the reason why he went to the girl's house was he was helping the girlfriend, right? So what he thought, he was helping the girlfriend. And so once he was put in that situation, how he handled it is what caused the issue and the cheating.
Right.
So now.
So it's not like he intended to go there for go do that.
Right.
But that's what the whole thing is. Just to set it up, see what you would do
in that situation.
in that situation.
Yeah.
What would you do?
Yeah. So, okay, so let's play this scenario out in our relationship, right? So
Right.
the girl she was busy or she was working. She couldn't pick up the camping gown and the graduation arrangement, right?
Right.
So if I really needed something and I had to be somewhere and I had nobody to pick it up, and I asked you, can you go and pick it up for me?
Right.
So you show up at this girl's house to pick up the stuff, right? And she tells you, okay, it's upstairs, come on in, right? Okay, that's not, I mean, I would think if you know.
First of all, what we're talking about going upstairs to pick up. If we're going upstairs to pick up, to go move a dresser, or some big bulky item, okay, maybe I can help you with that. But if you're telling me come pick up the camping gown upstairs,
why can't you bring it down, right?
I mean,
and I would think if somebody knew
you don't need my
coming,
help to go get that.
But if they knew you were coming, why wouldn't you have it downstairs, right, ready to go?
Yeah.
Red flag. That's the first red flag, right?
Red flag.
So you would recognize that.
Red flag. Yeah.
Okay. The second thing is the bouquet that she got her.
But wait, actually, the first thing that I would be in my mind checking is the approach.
What do you mean?
How she talking to me, how she approaching me. You know what I mean? Like some people who's on a mission to just do something,
right?
They're not being flirtatious. They're not being a kind of like, oh, hi, oh, you get lots of muscles. They're not.
Okay.
You know what I mean? When somebody really is trying to get a job done or something like that, they're kind of serious about it. You know, they go do that, right?
Right.
So, like, even if you go over there and she would say, oh, okay, how's it, brother? Can you come pick this up over there? Stay upstairs, just come grab them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's a direct conversation that has no frills on it.
Okay.
But if you're like, oh, hey, hi, nice to see you, and like start playing to the
like there's a connection.
Yeah.
Between
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
no, that.
So I can see, okay, if the person had it upstairs for some reason, right? And they said, oh, come in, I'll go grab it upstairs real quick.
Right.
Okay, that's cool, right? Because like you said, why do you need me to go upstairs with you to grab a camping gown? Yeah. So I can see you coming in, right? And then, okay, go ahead and grab it. Then she said to him, my friend that makes the bouquets and stuff, he's gonna be here in like 15 minutes. Is that cool? Right? So, okay, what are you supposed to do? Right? In that situation, like it was supposed to be there, but it's not. Everybody runs late, every once in a while. So what are you supposed to do? Okay,
I deal with one-night traffic all the time.
Yeah. So in that situation, if she said, oh, we can just hang out until he comes, or whatever. You want a drink, you thirsty, stuff like that, right? She's talking about water and stuff, right?
Right.
Okay, you sit down and, like I said, what else are you supposed to do? Okay, so now you sit down on two different sofas, right? You wouldn't sit down on the same sofa as her, right? If there was another option. And then you guys start talking, and the girlfriend that was listening was like, oh, he's talking way too much. But in a way, he was kind of making small talk. Like, he was like, oh, what do you like to do?
Being polite.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, what are you supposed to say? He wasn't asking her for her panty and bra size.
Right.
He was just saying, like, oh, what do you do? What do you do for work? And stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Small talk.
Right. So that kind of talk you'd be comfortable
small
with,
talk
right?
that is not flirtatious in nature.
Right. So then she was talking about the gym, right? I think that's the first thing she was talking about. And the tattoos.
Yeah.
So she was saying she wants to get a tattoo, and he had tattoos.
See now, okay, so now off right there now we'll start catching like, oh, you know why? Because that can lead to something that's not good. Because you're talking about something personal.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not interested in your tattoos.
Right.
And then, to me about the
the first thing she said is like she was thinking of getting it right here.
Yeah.
right? And
yeah.
she kind of opened her tank top a little
Right.
bit and stuff.
Yeah.
So then it's like, okay, why are you showing
look.
that?
Yeah.
You know?
Take a look at me.
Yeah. And then the second tattoo
Yeah.
was like almost a tramp stamp, but it was
Yeah.
kind of on the
And she was
side.
showing
She
her
pulled
ass.
her pants
Yeah.
just a little bit down, you know, and
Tempting.
yeah. So okay,
Tempting.
if you were put in that situation right there where she said that and she did that, what would you do?
I gotta go.
But the bouquet's not there yet.
Fuck it. You gotta go find somebody else to go get it.
You would just
I was
say you
gonna
have
go.
to go and you gotta,
I gotta- hey.
that's it.
I'm a convicted sex offender.
Well, okay, so
You know what
say
I mean?
you
I already
weren't,
know fucking slippery slopes.
right?
Gotta
But
go.
but say you weren't,
Get the fuck out
right?
of there.
Say you weren't, and say you had no record.
Right.
We're just talking about
It's
cheating, not cheating.
Just if you're gonna put yourself in a situation and act like, oh, like, you know, the guys like that. Oh, I was drinking, that's why.
Yeah.
No, you know why you ain't gonna
Yeah.
go. You go bust out the liquor so you can have just
You can
one
have an
shot.
excuse. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I did my one shot. I
Yeah.
can say I was drinking.
Yeah.
So
Now we
whatever
can
happens
fool
now,
around.
yeah,
Yeah.
whatever happens now, hey,
Yeah,
fuck
yeah,
off. Just blame it on the alcohol.
yeah. Yeah, and I think
Come
people
on,
do
bro.
that a little bit too
Come on,
much.
bro.
Like everything's on
You
the
know
alcohol.
you know what you're doing. Come
Yeah.
on, you know what it's all about. Yeah,
Yeah.
so no, fuck that, bro. You can get caught up in
Yeah,
this. You already know what it's about.
If you put yourself
If-
in that situation.
Come on, you gotta be
yeah.
on sleepwalker for fucking not see that.
No, it's this side. But yeah, so I get that. So that's good. Like right then and there, you should cut it because. And then what would you do?
I don't care what happens afterwards. You're so rude. How come you never finished the project or whatever?
Right.
I just want you gotta go talk to your friends.
Okay, so what would you do? You get in a car, and then what would you do?
I'll leave. I'll call you and I'll tell you.
You would call me, like
Yeah.
right then and there.
Yeah.
You'd call me. So that's the other
Because
thing I see people
and I
do.
learned that from my professor.
Mm,
My professor made it clear that you get any police contact or whatever, anything happen, I'm the first person you call,
yeah.
right? You know what I mean? So as long as you call me and let me know. So don't let somebody call me and tell me about it.
Right.
Because then you're going to be toast,
Right.
right? So I learned that. So just call. Why? Just call.
Yeah.
Just call. Say something. You know, I just left your friend's house.
Yeah.
I don't feel comfortable with it. You know,
Right. This is what she did.
yeah, what's
This is what
polite
she
and all
did.
that.
Yeah.
And I just never like go there. So
Right.
I shouldn't deal.
Yeah. Okay, so now flip it on me.
Yeah.
Give me a scenario. I gotta go to your friend's house to pick up something because you can.
Right. Okay, so you go over there and go pick them up.
Right. And then he tells me to come inside. He's gonna go grab it upstairs, right?
Yeah. Well, first of all, that would never happen because I wouldn't put you in a situation where you can be taken advantage of. Yeah.
See, that's interesting you said that because I wouldn't put you in a situation
Yeah.
to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because you're a female, you're gonna walk inside this guy's house. That's his house.
Mm,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
You know?
Yeah, so I get that too. It's like, and I'm glad you think like that because some people would be like, "Oh, just go get it,"
Yeah.
you know,
No. Well, if you're gonna just stop by outside, you know what I mean?
drive by, pick it
Hey,
up.
111. We here early.
Yeah,
Are they okay with that?
well, I don't know. You wanted to leave early, so what time is it?
111.
Oh,
They're supposed to have left, or they're not here.
oh, we just go
Go down to the
pull over
beach.
somewhere and drive. So, yeah,
They can let them know that
it's
we're in the area whenever they're ready. We're here. Yeah, it's a beautiful day to be out there. Let's go to the beach park. $1 beach park.
okay.
But
No, I'm so yeah, keep talking. You said you wouldn't put me in a
Yeah, I
situation.
I wouldn't put you in a situation like that. And that's the other thing
Yeah,
is,
that
if
looks
you
sketch.
really care about somebody, you're not gonna just put them in a situation. Why would you do that?
Yeah. Let us know. Yeah, and honestly, so if I went to pick up something and I did a drive-by, right? I think honestly, I would um I would stay outside. Like if your friend said, "Oh, come in, I gotta go grab it from upstairs." I think even at that point, I would just try and say, nah. I would just say, "Oh, no worries, I can wait out here. You can go grab it."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't even like.
You wouldn't fall for the
I
okey doke?
wouldn't go in the house because then it's like, go in the house for what? You're not showing me something to get my approval. I'm just here to pick it up, right?
Right.
So it doesn't matter what it looks like. It doesn't matter. That's for you to figure out if that's what you wanted or not.
Right.
And so if he insisted, like, oh, just come in because I got to grab it, whatever, if he insisted, to me, that's like a red flag already. Like, okay, now you're insisting. What's the issue?
Right.
It's not like it's 10 miles away. It's right upstairs, you said. So I can just stay. And then, so if he insisted the second time, what I would say is, no, go ahead, because I gotta go, because I gotta go to this other place. Right? I would make that kind of an excuse, right? To let him know clearly, I can't stay. Just go get it, because I gotta go. So then, if he really insisted again, then right? He's trying to do something, right? And so, at that point, I think I would just tell him, if it's gonna take too long, then I'll just have to come back later, and come get it. And at that point, I would just tell him I'm coming back later, but then I would call you and tell him, look, you gotta handle this shit on your own, because this is what he said, this is how I feel, But so then say, he did bring it down, but then he said, oh, the person that's doing this other bouquet or whatever, is running about 15 minutes late. Okay, at that point, what do I do? Right? Like if you really needed this thing and it was 15 minutes, okay. So say I did go in the house, sit down. You want anything to drink and this and that, I probably wouldn't take a drink because to me, taking a drink would be like I'm getting comfortable,
Right.
So for me, I wouldn't, and I think it's because I'm the girl.
Full of it.
But I wouldn't take the drink. No, I'm good, Just
beautiful that water looks like.
Letting him know I'm not staying long,
Yeah.
And so then if we're waiting and he's talking story like, oh, what do you do? Where do you work? Stuff like that. Okay, that's just small talk. But the minute he talks about like movies and stuff like that, you know what I would be doing? I would be inserting your name. And I've done it before to like some of our customers that kind of flirt and you're in the truck.
Right.
They don't know. They're like, oh, they see me out there by myself and they come by and they're like, oh, so where's your other half today?
Mm-hmm.
And then they start talking about stuff and they start asking me a little bit too much like intimate questions. Then I tell them, like, oh yeah. Me and my husband. Yeah. I tell them me and
God's
my
country,
husband
one
saw
mile.
that, and then everything is me and my husband, me and my husband, me and my husband.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes they get sick of hearing that.
Yeah.
And they're like, all right, well, you have a good day, and they leave.
It's about me right now. I'm not trying to talk about your husband. You like
So
talk about me. Look my
just-
muscles. Remember like that guy that would come over and he would always try to flex.
No, at one time it was funny
That's
because I
stupid.
think he saw me by myself and he stopped by.
Mm-hmm.
And then you were inside the truck because you were having I think you're on the news that day or something. You were doing the Zoom or you're on a conference call or something. And he comes by and he was like, oh, so your husband not here today? And I was like, oh no, he is. And then he knew you were in the car and I said he's on an important conference call or on the news or something. So he knew like you couldn't come out.
Right.
So then he started talking about like, oh, something about the weekend, oh, you guys not out here on the weekends? I said no. we're just here Monday through Friday. And he goes, oh, because, you know, sometimes I work on Saturdays, you know, and stuff. And I go, oh, yeah. I said, yeah, some of our drivers, you know, work on the weekends too. And they ask, but, you know, we need a break too, right? And so he's like, oh, yeah. Oh, sometimes I just like crave you guys food, you know, and so, especially his spam musubis. Or he started going that direction, and I was like, oh. So I go, I know. On the weekends too, sometimes my husband asks me to make spam musubis, right? So I insert you. Then he's like, oh yeah. Then he asked me, well, what else you guys do on the weekends? Or your husband, you know, he's a busy man, you know, and stuff, and so he must be busy on the weekends too. I said, yeah, we are. I was thinking, he's trying to separate what you do and what I do. You know what I mean? It sounded like I felt like the next question was going to be, oh, you need company on the weekends or something like that, you know?
I'll come help you out.
Yeah, you know? So I was like,
helpful Hawaii.
I was like, yeah, we are busy. We are busy, you know? And then he just kind of left because I guess he figured out
Wasn't working.
he wasn't getting anywhere.
You're not making it easy.
Is that what I was supposed to do?
Yeah.
Make it easy.
You know what? They throw all these things so you can bite the bait. Yeah.
Yeah.
Typical predatory behavior. And I know because I was in that same predicament.
So that's the kind of stuff you would throw out there to see if they would bite or not.
Yeah.
That's interesting though, coming from your perspective of been there, done that.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, like, come on, man.
And to me, I've never like tried to hook a man kind of thing. You know, like I don't know. That's not something that I've ever tried to do.
Yeah, and watching all the cheaters videos, we really learn a lot about human behavior.
Yeah.
You know what people will do when they want something.
Yeah. How bad do you want it? And is it worth it?
Right.
In the end, is it worth it? Like, you know, you may have gotten.
If you're not down for, you know, a monogamous relationship, then just don't get involved. Just live your life. Just be the freelance butterfly like me.
Exactly. You said butterfly. I had butterfly pajamas on this morning. And then now I have a butterfly tank top on. I didn't realize that until after. So today is all about butterflies.
Butterflies, yeah.
That means today's going to be a good day.
Yes, it is.
All about butterflies. You know, this eye is like really starting to bug me.
Pretty soon both your eyes going to be closed up.
I know. It's done that when I'm like sleeping. In the middle of the night when I toss and turn, both eyes are paralyzed down and I'm trying to open it and I'm kind of freaking out because I can't. And then I just end up, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna go back
fire, let's go. Boom. Yeah. Bang, everything will open up.
I would just grab onto you. And I'd just be like, just guide me because I can't see. But then I just end up going back to sleep because I'm like, okay, by the morning when I wake up, it should be like, I should be able to open something.
Ramanala Beach spot, but so beautiful. The water is so nice.
We
color,
really need to go to the beach.
Yeah.
We do.
Let's take a break for ourselves.
We need to cleanse in the water.
Hawaii.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah. So early in the morning, before the sun come up, we go down to the ocean.
What was that?
Okay, lifeguards over there.
Oh. So before the sun comes up?
Yeah.
What's
as
the
the sun rises.
significance about that?
The sun rises, it's just like the start of a new day. So you cleanse, so you can have a beautiful day. Hawaii.
Okay, so that's what we need to do. We need to leave at 6 in the morning and then just go.
Yeah.
We should go beach hopping one day.
Yeah.
Just go around the island and just get in the water everywhere.
touch the sand.
Touch
And,
the touch
yeah,
the
that
sand.
first time when I came out of Kulani, went down to what they call that place?
That was on the Big Island, right?
Yeah, estate. The estate.
Yeah, I forget. You told me before.
It's an estate on a big island, and I saw my son too said the
Yeah,
guy
I
just said
remember he was. Yeah,
kick him
yeah.
out from over there. He's like, what do you mean? I'm Hawaiian, but I can be here. Yeah. But anyway, we can go to that estate. It'll come to me. We can go to that estate for go clean them up. Clean out the canal. Get all this grass growth and all that, and we need to get them all cleaned out. And so we was there, and then we was allowed to go wash off in the brackish water because
Oh, they have brackish water.
yeah, because he had fresh water coming down.
Yeah.
And had the ocean, and that's what
we had a brackish water fish tank.
And brackish water is beautiful for certain types of fish too.
Yeah.
Crabs and all that. But we was there. I remember I was walking and I was going to take off my slippers and stick my feet right in the sand and just let my toes massage the sand like that. I'll just massage it like that.
That was the first time you had touched sand?
Yeah, in like 18 years. At that point, it was 18 years I was in. And, and probably even longer because even when I was out, I wasn't going to the beach. I was going on doing stupid shit. So, and then then I went to the water and I just dive in and I dive down and come up there. You come up, let the water just come all in my mouth. And I close my mouth. Full water. Come up and I drink them. I just swallow them.
You swallowed it?
I swallowed it. Yeah, I swallowed it. And
why?
And I said, because I knew at that very moment that no matter what happened after that, if I was to get shot in the head and died, I got the aina inside me. I got the vai inside me. I got life inside me. This mind, you cannot take it from me. You can take me back to the prison, beat me up and all that, but I got the aina with me. That was beautiful, but I loved it. And I was a very kind of emotional moment that time.
Yeah, you bet.
Yeah. There's a brother that I did time with. That he would always come back from the mainland. He was transferred out many years prior, and I grew up with his son in detention home and block Kahanui, and every year they would bring him back to see the parole board. So every year they brought him back. He would take back with him a jar of aina. Dirt, Hawaiian dirt. Take him back with him.
Dirt.
And he would put it in 4 corners of his cell.
Wow.
So he felt that he was at home, yeah. I tell you, all this thing about Hawaiians moving out to the continent or anywhere else in the world, if you grew up here and you got a love for here, you're gonna miss that place.
Yeah.
You're gonna miss this place. You're gonna feel that inside your now.
Even when we go to San Diego, like before, we were going like every 6 months at one point for Keegan, right? And San Diego, I think, is very comparable to Hawaii in a lot of ways.
Right.
But
we also get a lot of people from Hawaii over there.
Right. But it's not exactly the same.
Right.
So even when we were there for like a month and a half and stuff. Even those times, there was a lot of times where I missed Hawaii.
Yeah.
Like I really missed Hawaii. And then we would go, they have a lot of like local restaurants. There was a couple that was genuine. Like it was people that had restaurants in Hawaii and moved to San Diego. They opened up their restaurant there. So there was a Hawaiian place there too. And they had fresh poi. They had all Hawaiian food.
All the trimmings.
And it was good. It tasted just like Hawaii because it was run by Hawaiians. But then you get these other places that call themselves,
Mhm.
you know, Hawaiian this, Hawaiian that, and it really wasn't. Like they have all the coconut trees on the
Is it supposed to come
decoration.
off?
Yeah, I don't know. I just left it on because I didn't want it to be like super sticky after.
Mhm.
But I
Maybe
mean, now
that's-
that we have this, I guess we can like,
Maybe that's part of the thing.
yeah. But yeah, so even that, like, I've lived here since I was 6 months old.
Mm-hmm.
And so even that for me, I was like, yeah, I miss home,
Yeah,
you know?
there's no place like home.
Yeah.
But it's sad when I hear Hawaiians shit it over here, it is. Shit it. I got
Move to the mainland.
Yeah, go somewhere else.
But I think deep down inside, there's times where they miss Hawaii.
Yeah.
They have to.
Because life here is simple. You know,
It
you can
is.
just
Is it though?
live free. Yeah.
I mean,
you gotta work.
people make it complicated, I think, sometimes.
Yeah.
But
Look
I
at
guess,
this.
yeah, I guess looking at it from a perspective of
It's
living on the
summertime.
mainland.
It's hot, but it's a nice breeze, ocean breeze coming through everything.
And it's raining over there.
Yeah. You know?
Yeah. And there's no, you know why too? Because Hawaii doesn't have the extremes,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
And we no more that kind of stuff that gonna fuck you up, like rattlesnakes and
Ooh,
bears and cougars.
I love them.
Mom,
Yes.
you gotta be serious about these animals.
I know.
You cannot be walking up to one bear and he's gonna just. You got big.
But I can safely watch him from a distance, and it's
Okay.
beautiful.
If it's like that, okay. But
Or I can be in the house when he's outside on the patio, eating the snacks I gave him.
You see what I mean?
I loved it. You know when we went to Florida and stuff for Keegan's Make-A-Wish too?
Yeah.
Just seeing the raccoons and the gators. I was like, ooh, that's so cool. And then we saw a possum.
Who was it talking to that said, oh, wait, I just saw a raccoon or something?
Your son?
My son,
He
huh?
saw a beaver.
Yeah, beaver.
Yeah. And he was like, what the fuck is that? Then he realized it was a beaver. See, that's cool. Like, that's the kind of stuff, you know, even like the squirrels and stuff. We would go around and I would take pictures of all the squirrels and all the, I mean,
He did that.
that was the thing, you know?
Yeah,
That's
even
the
when
thing.
we went on our trip to Washington.
Yeah, we
We saw
took
a
pictures
squirrel.
of squirrels and the geese.
Oh, look at
and-
fucking squirrel. Like
Even the
like it's a
spiders.
thing.
Remember the one on the bridge?
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell kind of spider is this? And I took a picture of the spider because something we don't have in Hawaii. I'm like,
Yeah.
cool.
Fuck around and the bug jump on your face and
Yeah.
your face swells up like that.
Oh, I saved this thing on, it was on Instagram.
Mhm.
And it was this little puppy where they have like all the bees and stuff. I don't know if he was in an apiary or what, but
Mhm.
he was licking
Oh,
and
look at my stuff.
he was licking and eating all the bees. He was eating them.
What?
Yeah, he was eating them. And then they show him after, and this little puppy was all swollen, walking around. I'm like, oh. See, I can do things with one eye,
I see that.
so I'm good. I think me being so blind my whole life kind of trained me for this moment. But yeah. So we've done a lot of interesting things. I texted her from your phone,
Yeah, sure.
calling Yvonne. Oh. My eyes, they're droopy.
You got droopy eyes.
I got droopy eyes.
Yeah, droopy eye syndrome.
I got droopy
I'm gonna
eyes.
rest.
You guys,
It's a beautiful breeze.
we're
isn't
gonna
it?
videotape him snoring.
Huh?
Yes.
Me?
Like that. He's gonna snore. Shall I talk
I
about
got my
you?
fiddle.
Should I talk about you or should we cut the video?
No, you can do it. This is real. This is raw. Yeah.
He's gonna sleep.
I got
He can't see. He can take
classes.
nut naps. That's what I mean. Like he can take nut naps, and I can't. It's just.
Yeah.
I'm so jealous. I can't though. Like, if I take a 10-minute nut nap right now, in 10 minutes I'm gonna be more tired than I was.
See what time? What time is it?
Am I gonna time your nut nap?
What time?
1:33.
Watch them. I got you. We are fresh, ready to go.
See. Well, I think I'm gonna cut the video because my partner is going to sleep. So we will video after class probably.
All right.
All right. Say it. Say it.
Oh, peace, happiness, yo. We out of here.